Good morning everyone. Today is the strict implementation of the yellow lane here on EDSA and a continued dry run for the motorcycle lane. What that means is that private cars that enter the bus lane when they're not meant to, for instance they're not entering or exiting EDSA, they could get a ticket for using the yellow lane. And for those buses that leave the yellow lane, they could also get a ticket. So today is going to be very, very strict. So you can see right now they're spreading themselves out along EDSA just like the other day. So here's an example of a bus that was told not to unload, and now he's just unloaded right next to the enforcers. So let's see if they manage to catch him in time. They're trying to flag him down, but looks like he's still moving. Let's go ahead. So it looks like he's about to get given a ticket. He was warned by multiple enforcers, don't stop, don't unload, and he decided to unload anyway. Boss, what's the violation?
Open door, sir.
Sorry?
Open door.
Open door?
Bus implication.
Okay, thank you. So you can see he's now been given a ticket. He was told multiple times by the enforcers, and there's so many of them here. He can't pretend like he didn't know. He was told don't unload, but he unloaded anyway, so now he's getting a ticket. And part of the problem is that the ticket is so minor. I think it's only 150 pesos or something like that. So that's why a lot of them simply don't care, because the penalty is too low. Now the MMDA are working on increasing that, but of course it takes some time because there's red tape, there's laws and stuff like that, but they're working on increasing that so it actually serves as a bigger deterrent. So if you look here, you can see it says loading, unloading, bus AC only. So you are actually allowed to unload here, and this is the proper place for them to load and unload. But if they continue to go past and then unload further along the road, it contributes to traffic and it also contributes to danger, because no thought is put into where they're dropping them off, whether another vehicle might come up the side of them or anything like that. Also, you notice that each one has a sticker like A, C, D, something like that. So that sticker tells them where they're actually allowed to load and unload. So yeah, it's very important that it's strictly enforced. Otherwise, the roads are just uncontrollable. So they just pulled over this vehicle now, and they're basically giving him a warning. I don't know if he's getting a ticket or a warning, but basically he's being told that the yellow lane is for buses and they shouldn't be here. Now, a couple of the vehicles that were stopped earlier said I was only in the yellow lane because I was leaving EDSA. Well, if you look on the road here, you can see a dashed white line. That indicates where it's okay to cut through the yellow lane. If you've been in the yellow lane for, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, you can't argue that you were planning to leave EDSA. Okay, so he's just opened his door. The lady's running after the bus, but they managed to scare him away. Let's see what he does. Look, they're pointing at him and saying, do not unload. Okay, they managed to scare him off. But it's funny, even with all of these enforcers here, he was still willing to try it anyway. So this car is trying to go into the yellow lane, even if he's not meant to. But you can see there's clearly proper lines here to indicate where you can enter. So that's all he had to do, is actually wait for the right point to enter. I think this bus is looking to unload. He was told not to, but let's see what he does. He's considering it. He pointed at the camera, so he knows he's being recorded. Still thinking about it, but there's just too many enforcers. Although, here we go. Maybe once he gets past the last enforcer, he might unload already. No, looks like they managed to scare him off. The bus was just told not to unload. Let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to do it even with the camera and all of these enforcers? Now, on the one side, you don't want buses standing there blocking a lane. But then on the other side, if you make them sit there and wait for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they might eventually learn, like, hey, this is actually really a hassle. Maybe I should just use the designated stops, because if I keep getting stopped for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm not going to be earning any money because the bus is off the road. And this is something I've been thinking about actually, is like timeouts. Like your first offense, bus comes off the road for 1 hour, take it down side street. Second offense, 2 hours, 3 hours, a day, a week, a month. Because once the bus companies start feeling the pain of having their fleet off the road, that's when they're going to start being a little bit more selective about the drivers that they employ. Got another one here. He's being told, don't unload, keep going, keep going. Okay, he's listened, that's good. Although how far will he go before he just unloads anyway? So I'm not sure if I caught that on camera, but here's another one that just unloaded illegally. It's quite unbelievable, right? That even with so many enforcers here, they still decide to break the rules anyway. Let's see, is this one gonna sneakily unload? Sometimes you'll see people literally jumping from the moving bus because the bus driver doesn't want to get caught and he doesn't want to slow down. So it looks like they're arguing about whether whether what he did is wrong or not. Let's take a closer look. Telling the driver to pull over to the side. It's two. Oh, so it's coding. Okay, thank you. So the reason why they stopped this bus, aside from the fact he was trying to unload when told not to, is he's actually coding. He shouldn't be driving today anyway. So the number of waiting passengers is starting to increase. And you might be thinking, well, why can't you just let the bus pick them up? The problem is it will have the same issue that we have with jeepneys, where they start and stop everywhere and they cause massive amounts of traffic. And because they're pulling over so suddenly, it can cause accidents also. And you know, in every other country, you really have to walk to and from the bus stop. It might be 5, 10, 15 minutes. You have to walk and then you get the bus. So there are designated stops, but people don't want to use them because they want the convenience of getting on and off everywhere. This bus is being told, do not stop, do not unload. He's thinking about it. What's he going to do? He's going to keep going. So you can see up here, they've stopped the private vehicle for being in the yellow lane. They really want to keep these clear so it's only used by buses, because buses carry a lot of people, so they want to keep them moving fast and safely. So that's why they want to keep the yellow lane clear. And of course today isn't just about the yellow lane, it's also about the motorcycle lane. And I can tell you that today's been much better. See, all these motorbikes are in the correct lane. That's very good. They're trying to stop this guy because he's coding. Doesn't want to stop. Let's see what he does. Okay, there's too many enforcers. You can't get away this time. Still trying to go though. Let's see what happens. Is he actually going to stop or is he going to keep going? Nope, looks like he's kept going. So he's just got past the last enforcer. Oh, I think they're going to get him on the bike. Let's see if we can catch up. They're already too far along the road, so I won't be able to catch up, but I'm hoping that he managed to catch him on the motorbike. This is the problem. Very stubborn drivers don't want to follow the rules, and even when they try and stop them, they don't want to stop. And you can see he got quite close to that enforcer. I know some people have said that the MMDA should do better to stop vehicles, but the bottom line is they can't throw themselves in front of a vehicle. If they don't want to stop, they don't want to stop. And I've seen it before actually, where the MMDA are literally like hands on the front of a vehicle and the vehicle's still pushing forwards, like threatening to run them over. So for those that say, oh, the MMDA need to do better at stopping vehicles, you know, go out here and try it for yourself, because I can tell you, I bet most people won't be jumping in front of a moving vehicle. So we've got another one here. I can't see what the problem is with this. It might also be coding, number one. I can tell you these guys have got eyes like eagles. They can spot a license plate from about 20 miles away. Oh, what's this bus doing? That's an illegal unload by the looks of it. His door is open. He's being moved on. Okay, door's closed. Let's see what he does. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, it looks like he might do an unload. Sneaky unload. Let's see. Door is open. What is he going to do? The enforcer's talking to him, telling him probably don't unload. Okay, they managed to move him on. This bus is full to the brim and he's hoping to unload. Let's see what he does. I can tell you, they're having much better success today. I mean, the fact that they're actually being strict with the penalties instead of just educating is making a big difference. And it really keeps things moving smoothly. Like, the bus lane isn't clogging up at all. And that's exactly why they're doing this. They want to keep the buses moving. They want to keep the whole of EDSA smooth. And yes, it does mean a little bit less convenience for the passengers because they might have to walk for 5 or 10 minutes. But even with the walking, it might still be quicker than their normal travel time anyway, because yes, they might have to walk, but now the buses are getting there much faster. Nearly, but they managed to stop him just in time. So I just did a couple of live streams, and one of the things that people were saying is, well, it's okay for today, but how about next week, the next week, the next week? The reality is there's just not enough manpower to put enforcers like every 5 meters on every single road. We have to start changing the mindset of the drivers. You can't always blame the enforcers like, hey, there's not enough enforcers, or hey, they're not here. It's just not realistic. Like, how can you have so many enforcers on the road every day? It shouldn't be like that. It should really be us drivers that try and make a difference. I personally think that once they increase the penalties, that's when we're going to see a difference, because right now they're so low, and that's why the bus drivers are literally laughing. But once they increase the penalties, that's when they're going to pay attention. But today has been so good so far. Like, look at how smooth the road is. they've really done an amazing job. All the motorbikes, like 95% of them have been on the motorcycle lane. Most of the buses have followed the rules, except, you know, those few who haven't. But realistically, it's done very, very well today. Big difference from Friday. And so if you enjoyed today's video, please give a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.